Hi, this is a video to help you get clear on some main facts about secondary dominants in major keys and to learn how to derive them or figure out what they are in each key very quickly. Okay, there's a couple of basic things we need to memorize. First of all, secondary dominants create expectation that they will resolve down a perfect fifth to a diatonic chord, and they use dominant function to accomplish that. And you can see other videos that explain what dominant function is, but basically it's like a musical question with an expected answer, a specific answer. And the answer is the chord whose root is down a perfect fifth, in this case the diatonic chord. Okay, now there's already a chord like that in the key, that's the 5-7 of 1, and that is a specific the specific answer to 5-7 of 1 is 1. And the relationship is down a perfect fifth. So in the key of C, that would be G7 going down a perfect fifth to C. And again, the reason for all that has to do with the tendency tones in the chord, which will be covered in another video. But once we've established that dominant chords create expectation that they will resolve down a perfect fifth, then we just have to know the following facts about secondary dominants. Secondary dominants always have diatonic targets. They always have diatonic root. They always have diatonic target chords. They always have diatonic roots themselves. And there's 5 of them. The reason there's 5, even though there's 7 diatonic chords, is that 5-7 of 1 is the primary dominant. That already exists in the key. And 5-7 of 7 doesn't provide a resolution because 7 is inherently unstable. It sounds like this. So there's my 5-7 of 7. There's 7 minor 7 by 5. And it's like a question following a question, instead of our earlier example when it was a question followed by an answer, a satisfying resolution. So no 5-7 of 7. That leaves us with 5-7 of 2 through, 5-7 of 2 through 5-7 of 6. Just in order, right up the scale, 5-7 of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the targets are scale-wise. 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 minor 7, 5 minor 7, 6 minor 7. So are the secondary dominants. So a quick procedure for finding out any secondary dominant is using the fact that it proceeds down a fifth. If you know what the target is, you can think of the fifth of that chord. In other words, go up a fifth from the root of the chord, and you will get the root of the secondary dominant. So the fifth of a D minor 7 is A. So A7 will be the secondary dominant that leads down to D minor, in this case the 2 chord. Now I've filled in the 3 chord in the key of C. We know it's the E minor 7 chord. So we need the chord that proceeds down a fifth to E. So we need to go up a perfect fifth. So we just think of the fifth of the E minor 7, which is, that's right, B. And then we know that then it's a B7 chord that would lead to E minor 7. In this key, 5-7 of 3 leading to 3. Now you could proceed on like this, thinking of the 4 chord, going up a fifth and coming up with the target, which is fine. But you'll notice that we have a pattern here, which is the target chords are all scale-wise, and so are the secondary dominants. So once you know what 5-7 of 2 is, you could actually just write all the notes of the scale forward from that note and then make them, fill in the 7 to make them dominant 7th chords, and you will very quickly get all the secondary dominants. So the next note in the scale of C after B is C, so that the next secondary dominant will be C7. The next note after C will be, that's right, D, so that will be a D7 chord. The next note will be, in this scale of C, is, that's right, E. So once we got 5-7 of 2, we just simply went forward scale-wise in the key of the moment, and we could get all our secondary dominants. Now let's see if that actually worked out, because we know the secondary dominant needs to proceed down a fifth to a diatonic target. So let's see if it worked out. Well, what's the 4 chord in the key of C? That's right, F major 7. And what's up a fifth from F major 7? In other words, what is the fifth of this chord? C. So there you go. That's the proof that this works. Again, you could just do it chord by chord, thinking of the fifth of the chord, but this other method is often faster until you get to the point where you just know them all anyway. That's just the ultimate level of knowledge you want to get to, is not even having to figure them out. So two methods, once again, just to sum up. You could write out all your diatonic targets and then think of the fifth of each to generate the secondary dominants. Or you could just find 5, 7 of 2. That's method number one. Method number two is just find 5, 7 of 2 and know that all the chords will be stepwise forward from there, and simply write out the rest of the notes of the scale and achieve your secondary dominants. So in the last part of the video, I'll do one of each. So in this example, I'm going to let's pause the video and write all your target chords. Okay, and then start the video to see your answers. Then think of the fifth of each and generate your answer, your secondary dominants. First, generate your target chords. And there we go. And by the way, if you have any trouble with that part of it, generating the target chords, just think of the key signature of the key that you're in. Write a series of letters going forward from the second degree of the scale, and then apply the key signature. So we know that the key signature of B flat is two flats, B flat and E flat. I would start on the second degree of that scale, C, D, E, F, G, and then I would check what's flat. Oh, E flat, B flat, there's no B flat chord there. E flat, so then I would change that to an E flat. Okay, now pause the video again and think of the fifth of each chord. The fifth of C is, that's right, G, and write a G7 there. And then think of the fifth of this chord and write that, and then start the video to check your answers. And we're back, and there are our chords. The fifth of C is G, the fifth of D is A, the fifth of E flat is B flat, the fifth of C is F, the fifth of G is D. Okay, so that's one way to do it. And don't forget, in the Berkeley system, we use arrows to show dominant function, dominant chords actually proceeding down a fifth, because sometimes they don't, sometimes they resolve deceptively. Okay, now in the key of A, let's try the other method where we just simply first get 5, 7 of 2. We get the 2 chord, we get 5, 7 of 2, and then we just go scale-wise in both directions. Let's try that. So the first thing is to think, what is the 2 chord in the key of A? And think of the key signature, and pause the video and then check your answer. What is the 2 chord in the key of A? Okay, we're back, and it's a B minor 7. Now think of the fifth of B minor 7 to get your secondary dominant. Pause the video. Okay, there's your answer. Let's put in the arrow to show that secondary dominant did proceed down a perfect fifth. And now just simply go forward in the scale in both directions and fill in your chord types. Here would be the various chord types of diatonic chords, and here would be all dominant chords. So for this, remember, you do have to know your key signatures. So think, what's the key signature of A? That's right, it's 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So you got to know that. And now just simply go forward by doing your scale degrees. Now notice what I've done here. I haven't taken into account the key signature yet. I just simply wrote a B, a C, a D, an E, and F. I just went forward in the musical alphabet. Okay. Now I check my key signature. F sharp. Are there any Fs? Yes, there are. So that needs to be an F sharp minor 7. C sharp, are there any Cs? Yes, there are, so that needs to be a C sharp minor 7. And G, are there any Gs in here? No, there aren't, but if there were, I would need to make it a G sharp. Okay, those are my target chords, okay? In the key of A, here's the 2 chord, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now using our forward scale-wise method, I'm going to create all my secondary dominants. I'm going to go forward in the scale, so the next note after F sharp is G, then A, then B, then C, and then I'm going to apply the key signature. Do that while you pause the video and then check your answers. Don't forget to apply the key signature. Okay, we're back, but there's something wrong with these chords. I went forward in the scale, but what's missing? That's right, I didn't apply the key signature. I'm putting in chords that are non-diatonic here, with non-diatonic roots. And remember, secondary dominants always have diatonic roots. So let me check my key signature. G, is there a G? Yes, G sharp. So that means this must be a G sharp 7. A is diatonic, B, diatonic, C, aha, C sharp is what I need. So there you go, that's your correct secondary dominants now. And that was using the method of just going straight forward in the scale once you get 5, 7 of 2. So both of these methods can work together to help you. You can just settle into whichever one works best for you as you work through the rest of the examples and homework and generate these keys, the target chords and the secondary dominants in each of these keys.